Hi guys, so today if you don't know what to paint, this is the video for you because we're going to be doing some painting drills and it's going to make it a little bit more fun, I hope, and hopefully the creative juices will start flowing. So I'm just going to take a variety of brushes. I have a large one, a flat wash brush, I have a filbert, I have a liner brush, I have a dagger brush, and let's see, I also have a number 5 here. So we're just going to take some paint, take some brushes, and make some vertical and horizontal lines. So let's go ahead and start. I'm going to start with the red here, adding some red to my palette. All right, this is supposed to be just mindless and fun. Hopefully it's fun. So we're going to start with the edge of the brush. We're just going to make this straight across line. And we're going to even add in a thicker version of the line as well. So again, no rhyme or reason, exactly, just having a good time. We're gonna take some orange. Let's see, let's take our flat wash brush and take some orange. Whoop, rolling off the desk there. Sounds good. You do what you need to do. All right, we've got this one here. I'm just gonna hold it at the side. So the idea behind this is, maybe you're feeling frustrated. Look at that beautiful line here. We've got some dry brushing happening. I'm gonna take my thinner brush. If you just feel like you're not sure what to paint, things aren't turning out well, you're feeling that frustration really rising, this is a great activity to do because there's no expectation. Of course, as you're doing this, you might think, well, I need to stay, everything needs to be even and I need to stay within a certain pattern. You don't need to. Remind yourself that that's just that negative self-talk that creeps in. And what we're doing today is just having a good time, adding some color to our palette right here, and then putting it on our paper. My dagger brush, it's gonna be a nice thick line. Look at that, beautiful aqua color. Let it run out if it runs out. I'm gonna take our liner now. A little liner, so cute. I've got some pink here. Liner doesn't hold a lot of pigment and water, so you might have to go back and fill up again. Okay, filling up our brush with that lovely pigment, and we're gonna continue where we left off. Right there, a little bit of dry brushing happening. Got our large brush over here. Let's see, let's do a nice grassy green color. Get that mixed up. So when your brain is analyzing too much, or you're feeling, and just use the point of this, you're feeling frustrated because things are not turning out how you'd like them to, it's not a good time to continue to try to create art. I'm gonna grab a number 6 round and do one more color here at this time. And so it's good to step away and decide I'm not going to try to force myself because it's not going to create any art that you're going to love or be proud of at that point. Right now, we're going to take, I have this cat's tongue brush. We're going to take our paints once again and we're going to go back over. We're going to make vertical lines now. And it's okay if it moves around, if the paint spreads together. Just go with it. It's okay. We get so particular about what we think we need to be creating. If it blobs on, that's okay too. This is gonna mix and flow. It's watercolor. The whole idea is to get your brain out of that protective space where it wants to keep all the bad things out, where it wants to create the perfect paintings, where it wants to live in a world that's not realistic. And we don't need to live in that world. We just need to take care of ourselves. And so this is a way that you can do self-care, all right? Actually, making these marks is quite therapeutic. I find it to be really relaxing and kind of enjoyable to see those colors mixed together. Here's our dagger brush. We're just doing drills today. We're gonna be easy on ourselves, kind to ourselves. As a mental health therapist, I love to talk about these things from an educational perspective, just giving you guys some information on self-care. What are some ways that we can find not only more joy in our artwork, but also understanding the lack of joy when we're feeling frustrated, not only with our art, but it stems from other things as well. And it all leaks into other parts of our lives, our relationships, the disappointments we have in them, the expectations we wish people would comply with that aren't complying, the expectations we have for ourselves and that others have for us. it's quite complicated. So we're giving ourselves a little bit of space just to be and just to enjoy putting marks on the paper, not worrying about what happens, but just whatever comes out of it. Hopefully relaxation is what we're going to go with. Okay, so that's our first drill today. Look how pretty that is. That could actually be a card. I have this taped down, so it's going to move it around just a little bit. Add that over there, and we'll set it for our next one. For our next drill, we're going to create a fern. Painting leaves is something that we can all use more practice with, but this is also a great way for our brains to learn how to move our hands to create those ferns that we really love. We love to see in other artwork, and we love to try to do ourselves, but sometimes they can frustrate us. So we're just creating this stem here to start off. Now we're just going to create some little tiny marks and press down at the belly, lift up, and then we'll do that on the same other side. Little C-curve, sort of a C-curve shape. I say that with leaves. This is more a little bit straighter, but you do have that little curve. You don't have to curve it if you don't want to. It's up to you. We're just going to slightly point outward with all of these, and we're just going to try to match them too. 2 to 1 space. And we're going to try to get thinner with our little leaves, or shorter, as we go up the stem. Now this is just to get you out of that space of I don't know what to paint. My hand doesn't know how to paint anymore. Here, especially if you're beginning with this journey, you will definitely experience some difficulties. And, you know, watercolor is one of the hardest mediums to learn. So just keeping that in mind, knowing that your struggle is normal. Everybody struggles. Even people that have been painting for years still go through that. Okay, so now take a look at your composition. If you see any spaces where you feel like you need to fill in, you can do that. You can just do a few that are kind of bent over, and then add another one here. Because you can. It's your art. So just do what you want. And I'm hoping that this little drill is finding a happy space in your heart and you're feeling excitement again. And my whole hope with this is that you can find your love for painting again and your inspiration as we're just doing these drills together. And last thing we're going to do is some roses. Now I know they sound a little bit scary, but I do believe that they are achievable with just practice. And remembering this is practice, so we're not going to go for any type of perfection. We're just going to go for a learning experience. And if you guys are enjoying this video so far, I invite you to like the video, to subscribe to my channel, as well as leave a comment below and let me know what are some ideas of things that you do when you are not sure what to paint, when you're bored, when you're frustrated, or if there's any ideas you'd like to see me do in a future video. So I'm going to start with this really bright pink color. This is a number 12 brush, so it's pretty big. And we're going to go with some C-curve shapes like that. And you can even dab the brush on your paper towel or rag if you have one. This is called a C-curve shape. So we're doing C-curve shapes, and we're just making them random. We're not just doing one on one side, one on the other. We're trying to make them occupy all this space. And then we're going to rinse our brush. We're going to dab it on paper towel, and we're just going to try to spread some of that paint around. We want to leave some white space in our rows. So this is, again, we're not doing perfectionism here. We're just trying to practice some C-curve shapes and enjoy that experience together. And get a little more paint on our brush. And we can even add in a little bit more here for it to spread out, little shadow side C-curve shape, okay guys? Take your brush, rinse it, spread out that little petal. If it's looking wonky, don't worry about it. It doesn't need to be perfect. It's just practicing. So I'm just going to take my fresh brush, it's dabbed, and I'm just gonna extend out that a little bit there, a little bit extra. You're gonna have some shadowy parts for your roses, and so emulating that now is a great idea in that nice wet and wet technique. So since we're having such a fun time, let's practice that rose one more time, shall we? So we are going to do, again, C-curve shape right here, leaving the white space. And just adding that C curve. Again, C curve right there. Getting thicker, pressing more as we get out farther because our petals are going to be fatter and thicker. Taking that water and just spreading out some of that paint right now, leaving some white space, adding in a few more petals here randomly on there, remember, like I said, so that it doesn't look like everything is matchy. So now you might be thinking, why are we doing roses? To keep ourselves, from being stressed out. I know that that can feel very stressful for some people. And like I said, we're not going for any type of realistic, perfectionistic look. If you've got it, excellent. But the point is simply to be able to start. We're going to add in a little bit more, drop in some color for the shadow parts on the edges of these petals. We're just wanting to practice some C-curve shapes to get our brains and our minds and our hands working together on this. And if you want to keep practicing, go for it. It's a wonderful way to increase your skills in creating florals and hand-eye coordination. So it's a wonderful, wonderful thing. We're just going to drop a little bit more in there. And since we're working on this, usually it's a little bit darker towards the center, just tight petals. There's not as much light coming through. I'm just going to blend that out. And if you put too much, take a clean brush and just lift some color. And that's another little technique you can do if you need to. So this is wet on wet. I love it because, ooh, that's really dark. That's pretty though. I love wet on wet because it allows that paint to spread and mix with the current one that is there. So those are our drills for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed. If you guys want to extend your watercolor journey, check me out on Patreon. Link is in the description for exclusive content for my members, live stream access to all my past exclusive full-length tutorials that are only for my Patreons. We have a chat community, and also we have art prints available, PDFs of my art as well. So check that out, and I will talk to you guys soon in the next video.